For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price, turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
Come on! Wait up!
Is everyone ready to play? I think the people involved, you get to meet a lot of people in football, and that's just one of the great things. Not only is the sport great, but the people involved. So fellow referees, players, coaches, even fans. I love officiating because it keeps me involved in football. I was a player, but I don't reckon I could cut it out there anymore, at least at any decent level. But as a referee, I get to be involved in high levels of football. Keeps me involved, keeps me fit, and is great fun. I think I have a moment of this is why I do this every week. It's always good fun to get out there, and there are tough moments, but being resilient and succeeding, even just in the little things throughout a match. I think embracing challenges is such an important skill to learn, and as a referee you surely come across a lot of them, and I certainly have. I reckon give it a go. You will face challenges, but that's a part of it, and I think embracing challenges is such an important skill to learn.
At Service FM, we know every workplace is different. Every challenge is unique. That's why we personalise our services to our customers' different needs across different industries. From medical to mining and manufacturing, hospitality to healthcare, commercial to defence. So when you need to create a better work environment, you need Service FM. Proud partner with Football South Australia.
Adelaide wakes up with 5AA, David Penberthy and Will Goodings, Tom Wren for sport, Jade Robran on the scene as it happens, Jess Adamson with the news that matters to Adelaide, Breakfast with David and Will, bringing together the names you trust with everything you need to know to start your day. Always live, always local, and only on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Good evening and welcome to Jack Smith Park for live coverage of this RAA NPLSA fixture between West Torrens Birkalla and Para Hills Knights. Both teams coming into this fixture with totally different circumstances. It's the home side Birkalla who will look for 3 points and a potential opportunity to boost their goal difference as they look to fight for not only a top 2 position but the possible naming rights of league premiers come the season's close. As for Para Hills, their season is over. They haven't really got much to play for other than pride and development, as their fate was sealed in the previous match week as they went down 2-0 to Adelaide City. Tonight I'll be your host, Anton Violi, alongside a very well-respected name across Football South Australian media, Simon Jimenez. Simon, how are we going tonight? Do we think Para Hills will be able to compete with Burks tonight, or is it going to be too much?
Well, firstly, thank you for that intro. That's a very kind one for you to say. Look, you've got to be realistic given the position that Para Hills are on the ladder, the fact that their relegation fate is already decided and the fact that they've got such a junior team. The smart money has to go on West Torrens Birkalla, but look, they've got a very young side. A couple new names in there. I saw a much better than expected second half that they put forth in the second half against Adelaide City. So we're going to find out. I think from a coaching point of view from Para Hills, you just want to see some improvement. You want to see the confidence grow in this young playing group that they've got as well. So we hope for a competitive match. And on the other side, Birkalla have plenty to play for as well, because I'm sure we're going to talk about a little bit the goal difference situation.
Yeah, obviously Adelaide City with the level on points, they are second and third spot, the two sides. Adelaide City do have the superior goal difference, that is +8 on Birkalla, and unfortunately, as we've seen some results go the way of against Para Hills, there's a potential chance that Burks may be looking to chase down that tonight.
Yeah, I don't think that's unfair to say that they may be going out with that goal tonight. Other teams have gone into the fixture looking to pump up their goal difference a little bit, but that was probably Adelaide City last week too, and look what happened. It ended up being a 2-0, a much I don't want to say it was a harder fought game, because I think overall in that second half, I think Adelaide City maybe sort of dropped to the level of Para Hills a little bit, but I think if you're putting bets on before the game, I think I don't think anyone would have predicted that scoreline at home for Adelaide City.
Certainly not, obviously, but Para Hills know what they're in for the rest of the season, and they have their goals for next year. They're on the rebuild. Oldest player in their lineup tonight is 22 years old in that starting lineup, of course, but as for Birkalla, maybe one superstar in Austin Ayubi, who makes his return to the RAA NPLSA. He could be in for a potential good debut tonight as we are about to kick off here at Jack Smith Park. Curtis Woodsworth will get us underway, assisted by Dan Satoy and Jackson Carmen. It's going to be Para Hills to start us off. Through Christich. He plays back as Para Hills look to go high and wide early. Had a brief chat with their assistant coach, Gordon Bryce. A shot off here. Spilt. Maybe a bit of a nervy moment for Captain Nick Harpers in his 300th game tonight. Hey, Simon?
Yeah, it's a little bit uncharacteristic. Maybe he had some cold hands. He's just trying to warm up. Actually, he's just wiping off the gloves there. Maybe a little bit slippery at the moment. But, it's not the usual spill that you see from him.
Absolutely not. But it's Para Hills who will have the first real opportunity of the evening. But as I was saying before, I had a chat with assistant coach Gordon Bryce, and he said they know they've got nothing to lose. They're going to come out. They're going to attack. They're going to press high. And you never know, they might be on for a chance to stun Burks as the ball comes in here. It's dealt with out for a throw-in.
And I do wonder that now that their relegation fate is sealed, then they know what the result is. There's nothing further to salvage, I guess. So, just put forth a good effort tonight. Show that you can play. The captain, obviously Mark Ulage, is away. I'm not sure how long he'll be away for, but he's certainly away for this game. So, it's up to some of these young players to really step up, and hopefully that challenge will be something that can, I guess, let them shine.
Absolutely. Yuto Nishi, another name for Para Hills, more experienced player. Obviously with a knee injury last week against Adelaide City, he was replaced quite early on by new signing coming across from Port Adelaide, Damon Peake, young centre-back. So it'll be interesting to see how he settles in to his REA NPLSA is starting to boo tonight against the very fierce attack in West Torrens Birkalla.
I think he did quite well last week. Yeah, it was in the first half that he came on, and given the fact that he came on as an injury replacement, there wasn't a lot of warning. It might have even been his first time on the bench for them, possibly. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he came on, and I thought he put forth a pretty good effort. Certainly defensively, Para Hills did much better in the second half, so I think he was one of the elements in that.
Yeah, certainly. He was Player of the Year at Port Adelaide Pirates last season in their State League 2 season. Obviously a proud club down at Port Adelaide. They are not having the season they would have liked. Not ideal that Para Hills probably stole I wouldn't say stole, but Coach Joe Allison may have taken a few under his wing, brought him over to Para Hills, and a few of them players may play a big part in their rebuild in State League 1 next season. This ball comes across for Birkalla, it's dealt with. Long ball is hit long. Here comes Para Hills forward through a Dejo. He looks for a few skills in that overlapping run, and able to find his intended target.
And the other thing that Para Hills can hopefully take a little bit of confidence about is the result that they got home against West Torrens Birkalla as well. It was a draw in the second game of the year, and it was eventually overruled, and it was ruled a win to the favour of West Torrens Birkalla, but due to an ineligible player being fielded. But on the day, it was a 1-1 draw, which was maybe a little bit of a surprise. 2-2 draw?
Yeah, 2-2 draws, but Birkalla, who led 2-0 at half-time, and Para Hills snapped back at him, and they probably, you could argue that they may have thought they could have potentially stolen all 3 points. Unfortunately, that valuable 1 point that Para Hills thought they had picked up was taken away, and you got to feel bad, but I suppose it is what it is. It's an unfortunate circumstance, obviously, but they'll certainly look to bounce back tonight. They know that they certainly can compete with this West Torrens Birkalla side, who have been feared by many this season already. But that was at Para Hills' home ground, and we were discussing just before the game, Simon, that he said on a big wide grass pitch is where Birkalla may struggle a bit more, and the artificial turf here at Jack Smith Park certainly will benefit them tonight.
Yeah, to that point, they've haven't lost it all at home this year, and they've had a couple fierce encounters, including one thing I did look at was at the halfway point of the season, they faced the other top 3 sides all at Jack Smith Park and didn't suffer any losing results. So that's just a bit of an interesting factor, the fact that they've still got Adelaide City away next week on a grass pitch, and let this play out.
It's dealt with there by Shikoshiani.
Yeah, so Playford, they'll also have to face up at Ramsey Park as well, so a couple of big games away from home, so I wonder if that may affect things in the second half of the season. But it's certainly become a little bit of a fortress to come to, Jack Smith Park, especially on these. They seem to favour the chilly Friday nights.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that here. You can see the steam, or I wouldn't use steam as a word, coming out of our mouths every time we talk. And it certainly is cold up here. Jack Smith Park scaffold. It's Anti-Janto on the ball here. It's funny, goes to Klassen Thomas. Here's George Blackwood on the ball, looks defended in. Held well there by Alessandro Tricone, playing his second first-team game for Para Hills, made his debut last week. Started the season as their under-18s goalkeeper. A few unfortunate events for Para Hills. Fusco going down with that knee injury against Stir a couple of weeks back. Caleb Robertson also injured at the moment, their reserves goalkeeper. So he's had the opportunity to step up, and you were on that game against Adelaide City 2 weeks ago now, Simon, and you said fantastic performance from the young goalkeeper.
Yeah, he did really well. to be perfectly honest, if it wasn't him between the sticks, I think there could have been, easy a couple more go through for Adelaide City. I apologise for not knowing this exact detail, but did they get a penalty at one point, Adelaide City, as well?
They
nodding?
did.
Yeah, they did, and that was a save that Dom Costanzo took. And then another highlight for him was at one point Adelaide City were taking a corner kick, and I looked into the box, and Tronconi was the shortest player in the mix. So the keeper, noticeably, a head shorter than all the attackers for Adelaide City, it seemed like. And just as the kick was taken, it landed sort of right above his head, but he just rose above everyone else and just plucked out of the air. So just a couple of moments like that, a couple of really good moments from a shot-stopping perspective. I think he could be very happy with this NPL debut.
Absolutely, it'll be great to see if he can back that performance up, and he may be busy tonight, as West Torrens Birkalla do have that. You could argue one of the best attacks in the league with George Blackwood, Dylan Klassen-Thomas, Alan Welsh even, Austin Ayubi tonight making his awaited return to the RAA NPLSA. Alright, so it'll be good, but he's got that first touch out the way, that shot that Blackwood attempted to curl in.
It's good to see overall that a positive start for Parra Hills too. They're not sitting back too much. They're attacking Birkalla here and still applying the press rather than just sitting back blocking low. So it's good to see that happen if they can get to a good period into this game without conceding, because that's another thing I've noticed too. When they do concede early, you just see the body language fail a little bit, and I think that's been one of the concerning things in watching Parra Hills, just struggling to keep that positive outlook when they do concede early.
Absolutely. Ball's lost in possession here as Klassen-Thomas looks to get on his right, takes a shot off, spilt there by the goalkeeper, and it's fallen to George Blackwood. And he puts the ball in the net, and he puts West Torrens Birkalla 1-0 up. That takes his goal tally to 18 in all competitions this season. Very impressive.
And I believe that that'll make him leading in the NPL competition as well. Or close to.
So we've had a bit of a mix-up in commentary here. That would take his tally to 4 goals ahead of Maxim Ivanic and Josh Murray. That's what I was trying to signal to you there, Simon.
I got the 4. I wasn't quite sure what you meant.
My apologies, but he's having a great season. He's the ex-professional footballer. His players get us back underway. And commentator's curse, you may argue, as you were just explaining, Parra Hills, once they do go 1-0 down, their body language tends to drop. I was on a Parra Hills game a couple of weeks ago against Sturt, and I was talking about the exact same thing, and it was moments later that Sturt went 1-0 up also.
And it's a difficult thing, just given some of the heavy defeats they've suffered this year. If we're in the same situation, it'd probably be the same thing. You'd probably be thinking, oh no, not another long night ahead of us. But again, a lot of new faces in the side, a lot of fresh energy, and now's the time where we'll see how they do respond.
Certainly going to be one to see. That's the real difference as players mature over time. It's one thing you're able to handle better once you go 1-0 down. It'll be interesting to see how Alessandro Tronconi can bounce back from that. You may argue that's one he probably could have held, but he'll certainly look to keep his head up, and he'll have plenty more action to make up for it later on in the game, I dare say. The ball's in the air here. It's dealt with. West Torrens Birkalla will have a throw in on the far side. This ball's over the top here, and here's Blackwood again. Strong defending there from Damien Conti to keep the top goal scorer, preventing him from his second. Maybe a corner for Birkalla. Going to be crossed in by Klassen-Thomas, and there you go. Tronconi, you can certainly see the height of the young keeper. Something he may not have, but Being a short goalkeeper myself, certainly you can't let it get in the way of your game, can you, Simon?
Yeah, that's right. At the end of the day, if you're effective at shot stopping, that's what really matters. Even if height's a natural advantage. As I said last week, he didn't let that concern himself anyway.
Certainly not. Classon Thomas will get a second attempt to whip this one in. This time he goes, drags in this Blackwood again, and it's 2-0. West Torrens Birkalla have doubled their lead. 12 minutes gone on the One World LED and Sporter scoreboard. George Blackwood already has a brace unmarked at the back post, and he flicked that one happily into the back of the net.
Up to the usual tricks, George Blackwood. He's just been in incredible form this year. I think last year it's safe to say that I don't think they got the most out of him, and apparently there was some niggling injuries throughout the year as well that just kept him from being at his best. But since he's come back for 2026, he's just been incredible all season long. And we spoke a little bit about goal tallies. If things do continue the way that they have in the first almost 15 minutes of this game, it might be the sort of game that can help him bolster those figures too.
Certainly he did score in the fixture against Para Hills in that 2-2 initial draw. He's already doubled that today in just the 12 minutes. There's Tyrese Conway on the ball. He scored a hat-trick against Para Hills a few years ago it was last year, my apologies, in their 3-3 draw all the way back in round 1, 2025. So West Torrens Birkalla haven't actually got the better of Para Hills on the field since 2023, back in State League 1, Simon, where they got up 4-2.
Yeah, right.
So they'll look to flip the script here tonight. They already have a strong advantage.
It's interesting just to think about 2023. Like, I remember the end of 2024 was when West Torrens Birkalla came up from State League 1 by topping the table. And I think it was last day of the season with a win over Vipers that they managed to secure their passage, and they eventually went on to lose in the grand final to Playford. But they've added a lot to this team, especially during the most recent off-season. But even the bones of this side were already there. Stav Galekis, of course, was already coached. Nick Harpus had been brought in from Campbelltown too. So they've just really been building. Didn't do much in finals last year, but have just gone one step better so far this year too.
The UB finds Classon Thomas. He does go to ground in the box. Sliding in there was Austin UB again. Looks like it's young Jackson Merritt wearing the captain's armband for Para Hills tonight as a 21-year-old, replacing Mark Ulage. So he's been in their leadership group throughout the year. He's stood up. He's played the 16 games. Very well deserved, if you ask me. He's been at the club for a while now. He's made a name for himself in that Para Hills first team, and now a staple in their starting 11, Simon.
Yeah, he's been a bit of a source of consistency this year too, I think. So, yeah, and I guess it shows with the fact he's been given the armband at just 21.
Huge sense of responsibility, yeah, especially in the RD18 NPLSA. Certainly show that he has an opportunity to show he's fit for maybe a potential future captain. Could even go on to be a club legend. You never know. It depends what his aspirations are. And Jackson Merritt, ball's floating over the top, and that one's held cleanly by Nick Harpus, and he gets play underway quickly. Going to Matsumoto. Matsumoto with a risky ball in there as Siani cutting it out. Just kicked out of harm's way by Jared Clark, and it come off the Para Hills attacker as he looked to press.
Well, I think despite the 2 goals early on, and that's just a little bit of a sign of just how dominant Blackwood is up front when he gets on the end of a loose ball. General play's been, I think both teams have had their moments so far, probably more on the attacking side going the way of West Torrens Birkalla, but it's good to see Para Hills still pressing and still just making sure that they don't show them too much respect.
Merritt went in on Andy Gentler there, and probably going to get caught out position here as Klassen Thomas gives chase the ball. He'll be held up by Peak, and Damon peaked as well. And it's out for another corner for West Torrens Birkalla. Last time they had a corner was George Blackwood at the back post. With double their advantage, it'll be interesting to see. It's going to be Klassen Thomas to put this one in as well, and this one's also going to be an in-swinger, so he's taking corners on his right and his left foot. That one's floated in. It's dealt with by Marley McFall as the ball goes out to a UB. He'll be stood up. Numbers still in the box for Birkalla. As Anti-Janto goes wide. Back to Klassen Thomas. He's happy to reset through Jared Clark. There's Clark looking for Blackwood. That one's cut out there. Well by Peak. Birkalla back in possession. So they look to come forward. Opportunity. Drives forward, goes out wide, and that one's intercepted. And here comes Sammy Adejo. He has that blistering pace. Get past the experience of Nathan Andy Janto. Walsh was intercepted. One forward was Iamazo. Ball went wide.
Well, we're seeing moments so far of Para Hills holding possession. Just they look a little bit rushed and a little bit panicked when they are in possession, but of course you just see how composed West Torrens Birkalla are. As soon as the ball's a little bit loose, they're just able to pounce and just, in this case, bring things all the way back and build up on their own terms.
As you were saying before the game, they're a star-studded lineup. West Torrens Birkalla, experience all over the place, international experience, whether it be for the Australia under-23s or under-20 sides, the Vanuatu national team, Jared Clark, the Lebanese national team in Austin Ayubi, and A-League experience with Blackwood and Welsh. It's everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And we mentioned a couple of times Ayubi coming in, but maybe didn't even stress how big that is at the back end of the season. There was a few people whispering, knowing his connection to the club, whether he'd be back around, and they seem to keep things on the low a little bit in the lead up to tonight, but yeah, huge inclusion, and to have a player of his calibre come in this late stage of the season.
The ball comes in here for Para Hills as they look to grab a goal. Adejo looking for that overhead kick, and Birkalla will flee now as they look to break. Probably unable to get out of the box as quick as they would have liked to. Para Hills are able to get back and reset. Ball's gone forward. There's Conway. Goes 1-to-1. Yeah, lets that one run and unable to gather possession. Birkalla will be able to reset and slowly build their way out forward. A lousy pass there, and Para Hills with an opportunity to break through Sammy Adejo, and certainly I'm sure in his mind would have been something a bit better than what he was able to conjure up in that situation there.
Yeah, I think again just looked a little bit too rushed, but it was interesting just seeing a couple of things in the build-up there. One was watching Jackson Merritt leave the ball go and try to give himself something to run onto, but Yohei Matsumoto just measured that so well, and he was right there ready to take possession of the loose ball, and Scosiani had a nice little thing to do in the build-up there when he won the ball in midfield and sort of started a bit of an opportunity for Para Hills.
Birkalla look to come forward. Blackwood's happy to hold up in the middle of the park as he goes wide to Klassen Thomas. Merritt does well, and there's Iamazo in his possession, and they do well to get out after being boxed in up Para Hills. And if Merritt's kept that one in, Adejo has space to run with, and assistant referee's put his flag up.
Another nice little passage from Para Hills. playing well, using the full extent of the pitch there. There was a bit of a call out going outside, but the ball has to go all the way over. So if it's on the line, even if it's mostly over the line, that doesn't matter. Play continues, and eventually they just managed to close up that lane, did West Torrens Birkalla. But again, it's good to see. It's good to see that creativity. Sorry, I'll get the word out eventually. Creativity from Para Hills and the bravery too.
Well, certainly they're going to have to be brave if they're 2-0 down, but it'll still be in the back of their minds that they would love to pull something out of this. They did find themselves 2-0 down, as we discussed last time out against West Torrens Birkalla, and they were able to come back in that second half. As Blackwood's on his left foot out wide, he looks across it in. Nice little turn from Claston Thomas, and just as we were saying, it's 3-0 now. He grabs his second goal of the season. And it was beautifully executed from George Blackwood on that left side. Put it in. It was a lovely touch from Dylan Claston Thomas to turn and slot that one into the bottom right corner.
The whole passage was really nice, just to see how lethal West Torrens Birkalla can be. In the lead up was Claston Thomas that beat Jackson Merritt on that near side, and a loose George Blackwood just found himself in a little bit of a pocket of space, and thanks to Claston Thomas just floating back in to make himself an option on the end of it and able to convert again. So, you know, even if in general play we are seeing Para Hills get a little bit more opportunity, just to see how punishing West Torrens Birkalla can be. Seems it's just something that Para Hills have to be wary of throughout the remainder of this.
Certainly be interesting if they do want to continue looking to attack and play positively. Look, it may lead to leakage of more goals throughout the game, but if Para Hills were able to grab a couple, I'm sure they wouldn't complain, and that would be a good little confidence booster. Haven't found the net since round 14 in the RAA NPLSA against FK Beograd in their 5-1 loss back then, so it'll certainly be positive. It's great to see they are looking to play some attacking intent. Ball's over the top here. Blackwood the target once again. Ball trickles through to Trinconi.
I think from the coach, Joe Allison's point of view as well, he really just wants to see some positivity from this young group, and you know, if he sees the attitude is right, and if they can see out all 90 minutes, despite what the scoreline may end up like, and you know how difficult it is against such a quality team, I think that's something that'll be really encouraging, because again, already it flicks now into the mode of getting ready for next year, and even for these players as well, proving their worth too.
Certainly will be the case as Para Hills look to come forward on this occasion and able to get far with that experienced midfield of West Torrens Birkalla. He'll get play moving quickly, and we were discussing earlier on the potential of cutting that goal difference down there. On track right now to bring it a little bit closer.
Just watching the setup of West Torrens Birkalla at the moment, some of these players just seem to be covering so many different positions. Ayubi was sort of floating on the right wing a moment ago. I've seen him sort of slip into like a number 6 sort of position. There he's playing as a number 10, and Conway, a makeshift 9.
I suppose they could probably try experiment things, being 3-0 up at this stage. It is beginning to get to the pointy end of the season, and games are really starting to matter at this point of the year, so it'll certainly be good for Stav Galekas to see where he's at. I'm sure he's already worked out where his players will play best, but if need be, come certain parts, certain games, that is, come final series and the end of the league season.
Well, the way they're using Austin Ayubi already tonight in all those different positions, just then he sort of floated a little bit more central, and Conway came out wide. You know, what a pickup at this point, just to have someone that's as versatile as he is.
He's going to certainly be huge in that attacking third for West Torrens Birkalla for the remainder of this 2026 season. Ball's played back awkwardly to Clark, and he finds a cute little flick on from Blackwood to Claston Thomas. We've already seen that duo link up twice for 2 goals tonight. Ball thrown into Sakonis. Just going to be a bit long, and there's Vidmar. He's able to cut down back to Andy Janto, who goes back to the milestone man in Harpers himself, who's closed down quickly there by Kristic. Brings it forward, looking for a UB on that occasion. And Boyan Kristic will be called offside. Birkalla will get to reset.
Just further to that observation about AUB's positioning, it seems to be Yohei Matsumoto on that far side that's just giving him that freedom. Obviously, he can play his right back, left back, and as an out-and-out winger, but at the moment he's just doing some of the heavy lifting there, going really, really wide and just giving AUB the chance to invert.
Certainly nothing wrong with that. But it'll be interesting to see where he ends up as Klassen Thomas. It's the slot Blackwood in through there. That would have had to be a world-class ball for the striker to get onto that one. There's a Deja looking for the flick on to his captain Merritt. It goes back to Andy Janto. Goes to Jad Clark. He goes inside, so UB on the ball now. He goes down pretty heavily. Birkalla looking quite comfortable in possession as the game goes on. Otherwise, Geddes blows the whistle there. Quickly started. Pat Hills look to press. Vidmar goes across to Andy Janto.
They seem to be settling into possession now. West Torrens Birkalla, now that they've got that buffer of 3, just being a little bit more patient and just letting him really enjoy the lion's share of possession.
They're intercepted. It was go wide for Kristic, who was the target.
I wonder what the messaging from Stavkalekis would be tonight. I'm curious about that, because we spoke a little bit about the goal difference situation, the fact that they're all tied up at the moment on points with Adelaide City, and just with that goal difference, a bit of a dramatic goal difference being one of the things differentiating them, but whether he has given the instruction to really go for it.
So the ball comes in here, and it's a chance here for Klassen Thomas to make it 4. It's cleared off the line. Ball falls to Conway. He was unable to make contact on that one. Danger certainly not dealt with now as Vidmar brings it forward. Still going. Klassen Thomas laid it off to Conway. Gets a shot off and held well by Chacone. Yeah, there's certainly 1 or 2 ways you could have put this game. Birkalla could have come out here complacent or really confident, expecting to win the game, as maybe Adelaide City could have potentially done a couple of weeks ago. And that could have been something Pat Hills could have attempted to fed off of, or they could have come out here with the mindset, let's chase down that goal difference, let's put them really to the sword, and we're already showing signs of that early. A shot controlled by a Deja. Opportunity here for Para Hills, and they're able to find the back of the net there as Harpers falls over as the ball watching the ball go wide.
Yeah, I think to your point on that, West Torrens Birkalla aren't the sort of team that really put up huge goal numbers. Even though they've been quite dominant, you look at games like when they played Metro Stars here early in the year, that was 0-0. I think Adelaide City was another low-scoring affair.
This ball comes in here, and Blackwood off the crossbar. He was looking for a first-half hat-trick there. Yeah, as you say that, Simon, 35 goals scored this season. They've already beaten their initial total of 33 last season by 2, as we still do have 4.5 games remaining. You could say as Pales come forward. Deja looking for Kristic. Vidmar happy to play back to his goalkeeper, and there will be plenty of time for Jad Clark to bring the ball forward.
Yeah, I think from a coaching point of view, you just really want the team to always be at a certain level and to be taking all the games seriously. I'm not insinuating that some teams don't take things seriously, but in the instance of Adelaide City, I think it's fair to say, I think I did say at the start, you did get the feeling that in the second half maybe they dropped their level. And, coming to the back half of the season, there's games where they won't be as heavy of favourites, especially with some of these difficult ones on the road to the likes of Adelaide City, to Playford. I guess you just got to embed that discipline as well. I don't think it's the sort of thing where you can afford to have a week off and be feeling too big for your boots, and in turn have that week of training after where you just maybe feeling yourselves a bit too much.
Yeah, they could have. Adelaide City could have seen it as get through this game, have a week off, obviously, as we had the Federation Cup final shown last week between Cumberland and FK Beergrad, and they're a team that has had a pretty full schedule over the last couple of weeks, as most teams got that week off break. FK Beergrad had a midweek game, a game last week, and then they've got to play Sunday against Adelaide United, I believe.
Yes, yeah, they do. Sorry, I was just trying to think out. Yeah, it is Adelaide United, and talk about Cumberland in a second as soon as this plays out.
There's Siani, or maybe good save there from Ciccone, the Birkalla attacker.
Yeah, on the topic of Cumberland, what a fight they put up in the Federation Cup final against FK Beergrad. Level up until full time, and with 9 men, it was always going to be too difficult going 2 down against the quality of FK Beergrad. But the effort they put through for 90 minutes with 10 men for most of it, it just shows that even though they're a State League 1 side, you just cannot take any teams lightly. You just need to display that same discipline and those good behaviours all the time. And a little bit of positive momentum, and we saw Cumberland get the win last night as well, given, and they're struggling a little bit in their State League 1 campaign. So yeah, just confidence and attitude is just a key thing. And yeah, I think for sure complacency is something that you got to be battling from a coaching point of view.
Very star-studded State League 1 lineup. You've got the likes of Raiders, Blue Eagles, Modbury Jets, Cumberland, all very big sides and very well recognised across Football South Australia there. Obviously we're not sure who's going to come up, as it's very tightly contested. It almost seems as each week there's a new leader. It's all over the shop. So that will be a great watch come the end of the season for sure. But one maybe even more interesting, the top of the table clashes in the RA, NPLSA. You've got some teams, you've got Metro Stars, who are now a game ahead of West Torrens Birkalla, and whereas Birkalla do look to come in looking for Blackwood. And volley off is dealt with. But there's certainly teams in the mix, and while Metro Stars were runaway winners in the league campaign last season, this season certainly a very different story.
Yeah, well, they only just hit the lead for the first time last week with Burks leaving the door open, and a little bit of the dramatic slide for them on the flip side, given the fact they went from first all the way to third. I say all the way, it's a very tight at the top of the ladder, so it hasn't been a dramatic, prolonged skid, but yeah, nonetheless, it's just a bit of a reminder, especially for Burks, just how tight the top of the table is.
I do want to get really technical. If we're going by the live ladder, West Torrens Birkalla do sit top right now as they lead Parry Hills 3-0 on the One World LED and Sporter scoreboard, as Blackwood's in here for a hat-trick and is cleared off the line there again. The flag is raised on the far side by assistant referee Dan Satoy.
I think they probably did themselves out one in that occasion, because it looked like the keeper was beaten. The player came in behind, and interesting. Just talking about the top of the table situation, I think one of the games of the round for me is Adelaide City and Croydon tomorrow. So you mentioned West Torrens Birkalla on top at the moment, but a tough test for Adelaide City, and Croydon, I think further to say they haven't been enjoying the mid-season I mean, they're on a pretty good run at the moment, but they just... I think their run was pretty impeccable throughout the mid-season last year, and they just seem to be making a bit of a late charge now as they're coming into a fair bit of form.
That's the one loss in their last 5 matches for Croydon, and that was against West Torrens Birkalla here at Jack Smith Park. Since then, they've won quite comfortably, beating Playford and Comets 4-1, Adelaide United 3-0, and that dramatic 5-5 draw with West Adelaide, which you covered, Simon.
That was something else. That really was something else, that game. And in talking to, I was chatting to George Sonis and some of the staff from Croydon after the game, and I sort of said, are you happy with that result? At the end, you shared points, but, you know, to come back from a 3-goal deficit at halftime, are we happy? Are we sad? What's the vibe? And they sort of said, look, you come back from where you were and you equalise, sustained effort over that amount of time. He goes, we're going to be happy with the point for that. So,
absolutely, and not sure on the other side, West Adelaide would have been too happy with the result being 4-1 up, as they're dispossessed here, Para Hills, and Blackwood has a chance, and Dylan Classen-Thomas, my apologies, he now has his second as West Torrens Birkalla make it 4. Slot that one into the bottom corner past Dracone.
Well, it is turning into one of those really tough nights for Dracone, but obviously he's the last line for Para Hills, so they just seem to be leaking at the moment, and Burke's just getting too much opportunity. It seems that when they do want to press forward, they're able to almost do it at will, and just exhibiting a fair bit of patience, and maybe to go to a point that we were saying before about what would the instructions be going into this game. You know, if you are patient, those opportunities do come, and they have.
Absolutely, and that's 4 now for Birkalla. Still 39 minutes down in this first half. Still plenty of time, and hopefully Para Hills are able to keep their heads up. Quite reserved celebrations there from Classen-Thomas as he grabbed his 3rd of the season, but having a brace as Conway drives forward here. He has Classen-Thomas wide, and here he is on the ball again. Might have an opportunity for a first half hat-trick. Just put wide. I'm sure it may hit the post, actually.
Yeah, it did take a deflection off the post. I'm not sure if it took a deflection off the keeper on the way as well, but either way, it is denied. What was amazing there was just watching Tyrese Conway get that ball, and you just saw 3 or 4 players in the white just sort of scrambling to get back and try and figure out what they were doing. So it looks at the moment just like Para Hills are getting a little bit panicked. So, you know, at half-time, I think it will be a bit of a case of sort of what we're saying at the start. Joe Allison just reinforcing the message just to stay positive, you know, try to show what you're capable of doing, make sure that, you know, West Torrens Birkalla do have to work for it, and, you know, that Para Hills are able to hopefully demonstrate some quality of their own.
Here's a little 1-2 through Blackwood and Classen-Thomas, and Merritt does very well to win that off the bigger body. Classen-Thomas, and Para Hills have a chance to go forward here, but they're forced to reset, and Birkalla have a player behind the ball. The ball goes high up in the air. Vidmar happy to header that one uncontested, and with his second goal to Classen-Thomas, takes his goal tally to 3 in the RA NPLSA. Certainly a big confidence booster for the 21-year-old in the season. Grabbed the goal very early on in the season in round 1 against Comets. Since then, hasn't been able to find the net in the league. So hopefully it's one of them situations where the floodgates can open for him, Simon.
Yeah, and he's just surrounded by so much quality as well for West Torrens Birkalla. I was sort of just doing some maths in my head just then about the A-League experience that West Torrens Birkalla have got in their team. You got Ayubi, you got Blackwood, you got Vidmar at the back. You know, you compare that to Para Hills. Welsh, yep. And you compare that to Para Hills. It's got to be a little bit of a fearsome thing to come up against, especially, you know, I was looking at some of the new players. They've come from State League 2 and even State League 2 reserve sides. You know, that's just it's such a tough jump to make.
Certainly, and it just shows the quality we do have South Australia's top division. We did see the other night, Simon, Adelaide United took on the Cove down south. They put 5 against young State League 1 team. Tricona does well to prevent the ball in there. It was Conway flying in with his foot, looking to get a touch. Long ball sent long. Keeper to keeper.
Is the 300 game man getting a touch?
Heavy little start, as we saw. Nick Harper spilled one over for a corner. Not something you see very often. Here's Blackwood again. You can just see his quality as he's actually dispossessed there by Blomley. Bit of a slip in the middle of the park by Siani. He's unable to retrieve possession for Para Hills. Able to settle on the ball.
Blackwood is one of those players that just when he's one of those confidence players. When he's just looking composed and he's got space, he's just looks like, you know, that's when he's really feeling like in the groove and that he's able to show his class. And at the moment you sort of see that sort of little tussle a moment ago between him and Yumatso, and just it looked a little bit like man versus boy, unfortunately for Yumatso. Blackwood just such a taller player. You know, you can see a bit of a strength difference there, and just, you know, composure as well. And Para Hills winning that ball against him just a moment ago. You see how hard, I guess, Kai Blomley had to work against him.
Certainly a real presence, and he's making himself quite known on the park. And he's not that he hadn't had a name for himself already, but he's really made a staple and a name for himself this season. As ball slot through here, Deja and Andy Janto did well to. And here's Yumatso on the ball now. Here's Blomley. He might look to unwind. May argue he's fouled. It's Adejo. Looks to find a bit of space, and he's dispossessed. And actually commits a foul.
Maybe just another little moment where Para Hills could have done with a little bit more confidence than that, with Blomley just having a little bit of space. Just hesitated a little bit, and just that window to uncork a shot closed.
The ball was measured perfectly wide to Custom Thomas, but Para Hills do well to get out the danger, and this Kricic dispossessed by Andy Janto. Plays back to his goalkeeper in Harpus.
That's an interesting one to watch, because Andy Janto, Kricic there, the size difference seemed to go the other way. Matsumoto looking undersized there, but he just used his body so well that he was able to deal with him quite comfortably.
There's Blackwood on the ball. He's dropped deep on a few occasions as well, but with them huge strides and them long legs, it doesn't take him long to cover the pitch in attack.
Well, again, I think it goes back to that freedom, that feeling of freedom that he seems to be enjoying. And I just noticed, interestingly, a little bit of a slip in the centre of the pitch. I believe that was Tsakonis that went down in a similar spot to where we saw Siani have a slip a moment ago. So that might be a little bit of a spot to watch throughout the rest of tonight, just on the, I guess, that far edge on the right-hand side of that centre circle.
It's a brilliantly measured ball from Blackwood, and Damon Peake does very well to get back and prevent Conway, as he looked to find himself one-on-one with Tricone. Well, we've seen some good signs from Peake, and he's starting to do. It's a bit of a lash flick from Siani. And there's Classon Thomas on the ball. Dealt with by Marley McFall. Beautiful touch by Annie Janto to bring it down. And that will be the half here at Jack Smith Park. It's West Torrens Birkalla leading Para Hills 4-0. Simon, goals two for Blackwood, 2 for Classon Thomas. It'll be interesting to see what we get out of this second half. Do you potentially have a result for us around the grounds?
Don't have a result yet, but we're not far away from Steve Woodcock Sports Park. We've got Campbelltown leading 1-0 in the 85th minute, so big game in terms of the, I guess, relegation picture with Comets in that zone, and Campbelltown not too far out of safety. So That's an interesting one. I'll probably get you an update of that in the second half.
Perfect. We will catch you on the other side of the break as we will prepare ourselves for second half action shortly between West Torrens Birkalla and Para Hills Knights. We'll take a break and we'll catch you on the other side. Cheers.
For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
Introducing Carl's Jr. Star Boxes for taste and value that's out of this world. Choose a tasty ranch, original, Santa Fe or barbecue double cheeseburger and grab a small fries, all for only $6.95. Carl's Jr. Eat like you mean it.
I just want to make an impact.
Hop in.
Where are we going?
There are so many career paths with SAPOL, from operations to CSI. You could walk the beat or work somewhere a little quieter. If you want to make a difference, there's a career at SAPOL for you.
Hey, it's going to be all right.
Call up the search.
Find where you belong in blue. Search SAPOL Careers.
At Service FM, we know every workplace is different. Every challenge is unique. That's why we personalise our services to our customers' different needs across different industries. From medical to mining and manufacturing, hospitality to healthcare, commercial to defence. So when you need to create a better work environment, you need Service FM. Proud partner with Football South Australia.
And that's in! Diamantis sees Harpers off his line. And he makes him pay.
I think the people involved, you get to meet a lot of people in football, and that's just one of the great things. Not only is the sport great, but the people involved. So fellow referees, players, coaches, even fans. I love officiating because it keeps me involved in football. I was a player, but I don't reckon I could cut it out there anymore, at least at any decent level. But as a referee, I get to be involved in higher levels of football. Keeps me involved, keeps me fit, and is great fun. I think I have a moment of this is why I do this every week. It's always good fun to get out there, and there are tough moments, but being resilient and succeeding, even just in the little things throughout a match. I think embracing challenges is such an important skill to learn, and as a referee you surely come across a lot of them, and I certainly have. I reckon give it a go. You will face challenges, but that's a part of it, and I think embracing challenges is such an important skill to learn.
Introducing Carl's Jr. Star Boxes for taste and value that's out of this world. Choose a tasty ranch, original, Santa Fe or barbecue double cheeseburger and grab a small fries, all for only $6.95. Carl's Jr. Eat like you mean it.
Adelaide wakes up with 5AA, David Penberthy and Will Goodings. Tom Wren for sport. Jade Robran on the scene as it happens. Jess Adamson with the news that matters to Adelaide. Breakfast with David and Will, bringing together the names you trust with everything you need to know to start your day. Always live, always local, and only on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
So the Youth Club Championship, we've designed a structure where the under 13s, under 14s, under 15s and 16s all compete together as one club. They'll play at the same venue, they'll play one after each other. It allows the technical director to be at the venue to help educate and look after the coaches, and also there's a focus on player development.
Players are now knowing where they are at and the pathway to follow each year. If they continue with the YCC, they should be in a position where they can go into senior football. It's a lot clearer around the steps they need to take to keep tracking as a player.
We've created an additional YCC training session or seminar night. All the players involved had the opportunity to do an extra additional skills session development plan, and we had Adrian Stanter coming in to talk about how to become a more professional player from a younger age.
The fact that as a club we are investing heavily in the juniors to ensure that we're putting those tools in place that the YCC is wanting from us, that's certainly bringing around some benefits to the club and to junior development across the board.
Everyone's trying to obtain points for their club, but also with a strong focus on how do we create a competition where players can play against like players.
The one thing I have noticed is it's been a bit more focused on getting the balance right. So, you know, trying to keep the best teams playing against each other throughout the entire year and not having this big disparity between one team or another, one club or another.
So what it has allowed us to do is have quality games every week, which has benefited the competition and given the girls a chance to sort of understand what it's like to play at that elite level. While development is a good focus, the YCC does bring out the aspect of results as well, which helps find that balance for players to transition to senior football.
So I think with the YCC structure now in place, there's become a better level. And with a better level, there's been higher intensity within our sessions, and that's allowed for greater development in terms of a player, technically, tactically, and that's given them the best chance to keep improving their game.
Yeah, look, I think there's certainly brought around a lot of excitement to the club on YCC Day. The club's buzzing. A lot of the parents and players really enjoy seeing the kids play, and what is really now an elite pathway in junior football in our state.
Something that resonated with me right on the onset was about connecting a budding footballer with the right coach with the right club, and the right club being part of the right football environment. So the YCC tells me that this has been a fantastic implementation by Football South Australia.
Still in the box, and it's another goal!
Definitely shown their experience against the young and inexperienced Para Hills side this year. What's your take on that first half, Simon?
I think Para Hills came out trying to be quite positive, but, in the end, West Torrens Birkalla just showed their quality, and, when they did come forward, they were quite clinical and converted all four. We had a little bit of chat at half-time about what potentially some changes might be, so I think that's going to be an interesting one to watch in this second half as well. You've got a couple of interesting names returning to the bench for this week, so yeah, that's one thing that I'm going to be eager to see as well.
Certainly. It's going to be interesting to see how West Torrens Birkalla do attack this second half, being 4-0 up. We have discussed earlier the goal differential between them and Adelaide City being even, well, not even on points as per the live ladder, but if Adelaide City are to win their match in hand against Croydon tomorrow, they will be even on points. They have cut it down from 8 to 4 in 45 minutes of football. It'll be interesting to see what Stav Galekas has instructed his men, whether they go full throttle in this second half.
Yeah, well, that was another topic of conversation at half-time, what the message might be, but I think, we saw even at moments where they were being a little bit more patient in the first half. They were still able to convert when they needed to. So, again, I think it'll be a message of, no particular urgency. Take your chances when they do come, and they should come.
Absolutely, as we've seen through that. They're so experienced. 11 they currently have fielded right now. We're discussing with George Blackwood, Dylan Klassen Thomas. Really made amends of this Para Hills side as we're back underway in the second half. And there's Klassen Thomas wide on the ball early in, goes inside. And here's an opportunity very, very early for Birkalla, and it's slotted coolly into the bottom corner, and just like that, it's taken 18 seconds, Simon, and George Blackwood has his hat-trick.
Yeah, it didn't take long at all. We said that they'll probably be patient, but they didn't have to be. Just a big hole left through the middle, and West Torrens Birkalla able to say, thank you, we'll take that, and did so.
we spoke a lot about the attitude of Para Hills in the first half, just the fact that even if they do go down, they just got to focus on what they need to do, which is, trying to show a little bit of quality of their own, see how these youngsters can prove themselves. But I've got to say, at the moment, with that goal straight out from the change rooms, they, for the first time tonight, I'm maybe seeing him look a little bit dejected.
Certainly it's not the way they would have wanted to start this second half. As the score ticks over to 5-0 now. It was a lovely ball slotted in by Sakonis to the league's top goal scorer in George Blackwood. And he's looking like he's really hungry to extend that lead at the top of the Golden Boot race tonight. Josh Murray of Campbelltown, who was sitting equal second with maximum advantage, was unable to find the scoreboard, I do believe, tonight, Simon. So as Ayubi comes in here, he's held up well by Peake. And there's the ex-A-League star, and he puts the ball across the box, and Blackwood has 4.
Well, it's looking good for his goal tally. We said going into this game he was all tied up, and he's pulling away at the moment.
Okay. Said at the start of the night, it began with a 3-goal lead. It's now up to 7.
Yeah, well, now they're really going to be closing in on Adelaide City in terms of goal difference. They got their tough match coming up with Croydon tomorrow. That 2:30 kickoff, of course, that's on FSA leagues as well, or better yet, come down to Adelaide City Park. But just to go back to a question that you posed to me a moment ago about Josh Murray, just 1 goal in the game between Campbelltown and Comets in the end, and it was O'Doherty that scored that one. So tough 3 points left on the table for Comets, and at the moment they're in that 2-team relegation zone alongside Para Hills. They still got a chance to climb out of it, but with Campbelltown sort of in that mix, it's a big game certainly for Campbelltown, and another bit of a body blow to Comets too.
It was really a 6-pointer, wasn't it, when you think about it? And it's a real strike. You could argue that Campbelltown would probably be safe. I'm not going to say they are safe, but they look a lot more cushy on the table than they did come the start of the night.
Yeah, that particular game will go a long way, to making them safe. Of course, we've got West Adelaide and Sturt Lions. I think that's another game that you could almost consider a bit of a 6-pointer, especially from West Adelaide's point of view. All of a sudden, if you do get Comets and West Adelaide suffering losses at the end of this weekend, it does become a bit of a 2-horse race for those 2 teams for that 11th spot.
Sturt do have a 3-point advantage on West Adelaide as of now, so like you said, Simon, if Sturt are able to win that game, they'll really feel a lot more comfortable, and they'll actually look to push for finals. Will the newly promoted State League 1 team from State League 1?
Yeah, well, there's a little bit of a gap there at the moment, but it's not a huge one. It can only really a couple of games in it.
It goes wide out, and Clarkson Thomas, he's held up by stand-in captain in Jackson Merritt. He does very well to hold him off. Wins possession of the ball. Does Merritt. Held off Clarkson Thomas very well. He's looked very dangerous in the first half. As the ball slips out the hands there, and it's going to be a Deja. He's just going to try to gain some territory. Nice little 1-2 pack. That's Molly McFall coming in quite hard as the whistle's blown in the direction of West Torrens Birkalla. It's going to be a free kick. Look to get play underway quickly. They're held up by referee Curtis Woodsworth. We've already seen earlier in this first half from set piece, it was Blackwood headering in the second goal of the night at the back post. Some real height up there in Blackwood Welsh. They rise and It's going to be cleared back to the lone man in Jared Clark. He'll be pressed by Christich. There's Nick Harpers. And if you're just tuning in now, Nick Harpers playing his 300th game in the Football South Australia competitions. And here's an opportunity for Birkalla to make it 7. The shot off hits the post. And it was Kane Vidmar. He's found himself up forward.
There's a little bit of a chuckle below us, and I'm not sure if that's because they've spotted him in unfamiliar territory, but possibly thinking, yeah, I'll give it a go. I can find the back of the net if I want to, but denied on that occasion.
Would have been the loudest cheer of the night, eh? I would have loved that. Vidmar just with the 1 goal to his tally this year since joining the RAA NPLSA, and Klassen Thomas puts the ball in, falls to Blackwood. He's unable to get it. So it's actually deflected wide for a corner.
Really is just a bit of a polar difference in experience between the keepers at either side, isn't it? Just Tronconi, just 18 years of age, and just a couple of games into his NPL career, and got a 300 gamer that's had a very long career over 2 big clubs at the other side.
The ball comes in here by Klassen Thomas. It's headed and it's in. I think it may be an own goal. No one's claimed it. I reckon he has come off the head of a Para Hills defender. And it's 7-0 now.
Yeah, just had enough space to sneak through and just out of reach for Tronconi there. We mentioned he's not the tallest keeper, and maybe his height letting him down a little bit on that occasion, but going into half-time, a big scoreline seemed inevitable. So one of the things we spoke about was what would happen if West Torrens Birkalla open up that lead a little bit more, and it looks like we've got one change coming now.
Making his return, it's going to be Adam Lecornu.
Actually, 2 returns. We've got Sarkani getting ready to come back on as well.
They're going to replace be Austin Ayubi to make way, and Kane Vidmar.
Well, I think our theories at half-time have been proved correct. We're wondering where we might see a couple of the different players come on, and we thought maybe with Ayubi his first game being back after a little while, that he may only play a bit in abbreviated terms, so he comes in off at 53 minutes, and of course, with Lecornu and Sarkani being on the bench, you'd want to give them a chance to have a little bit of a run. So those 2 players coming on.
Sarkani did score in the fixture earlier on in the year. Here's an opportunity for Para Hills. There's a shot off by Siani, and Nick Harper's tested for the first real time tonight, and he's pulled off a good save to his bottom left.
Yeah, just on the... I'm not sure if we got any assist stats, but I can tell you anecdotally he's been pretty prolific in those. With the stats in that column as Soy Sarkani before he had a few weeks out.
Ball's played back to Giacani. It'll be interesting to see how nervy moment there, but unable to be kept in.
He's going to be dangerous for the rest of this game because, although he said probably Burks may be taking their opportunity to be a little bit more patient now. Sarkani probably wants to pick up right where he left off and just get back into form after a few weeks absent.
So he was almost right into action there. Very nice flick from Conway as the ball comes in over the top, and here's Klassen Thomas. We know he can use both feet. Ball is put into the net, but flag is raised from Jackson Carmen. We're going to have to wait a bit longer for Keller if they are going to make it 8 tonight. Biggest win this season, Metro Stars actually handed that to Para Hills just a couple of weeks ago in that 9-0 thrashing at the Paddocks. That was a game almost you could see the Para Hills defence once once the scoreline had got a bit out of hand, it was the real drop of the heads, and the gap starts to open as we've seen here. And here's Conway for an opportunity and hits the post again. I reckon that's the third time tonight, Simon, we've seen Birkalla strike the post.
Yeah, that time I think he maybe overthought trying to place it in that bottom corner and just a little bit wide in the end. Thought he could find a little gap past the keeper, but maybe overmeasured it.
Wasn't too far off, but just 11 minutes into this second half, and there's been a lot of action come Para Hills' goal. Para Hills did have that chance. Siani got that shot off with good save from Harpers. Other than that, they haven't really been able to create much. It was pushed wide.
Well, we spoke a little bit before about Adelaide City's performance against Para Hills last week, and while it was a 2-0 win to Adelaide City, I did feel in that second half that they maybe, I don't know, they weren't playing their sort of game. I mean, usually they're quite a counter-attacking, low-sitting side, and maybe it was a little bit unfamiliar to be faced with a side that was unable to show a lot of attacking opportunity. But I think overall, I think they sort of dropped their level against Para Hills, and you just see now West Torrens Birkalla are just, while just being so patient, they're just demonstrating how good they are on the ball, just using the full space of this pitch and just really dominating it. It just seems like the more patient they are, the more they're really able to make Para Hills chase and being able to open up some spaces.
It's a real statement they're making here, now West Torrens Birkalla. Like you said, they did slide from first to third after that defeat to Metro Stars in the last match week. You can see they've clearly taken it quite personally. And here's an opportunity. It's Adejo who was unable to connect on the volley there. It was almost something out of nothing for Para Hills.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of little moments for Para Hills where they've just shown a little bit of hesitation in front of goal, and it's good to see him to just go for it there.
Here's Blackwood. He's really been everywhere. And he has 4 goals to his name as well. He comes forward now, and there's that partnership nicely outside the boot. Ball looking for Conway, and Conway finds himself in. Himself and Marley McFall both go to ground. The referee says no to any foul. Here's Chris Ditch. And Sammy Adejo finds himself to really strike on that left foot. A bit hesitant, as you just said, Simon. Does win inside a corner. This might be an opportunity if they could grab something here. We've seen how deadly Birkalla have been from set pieces tonight.
Yeah, we have. There has been a lot of clear-cut opportunity for Para Hills so far, so we'll see what they can do from here.
Ball's going to be crossed in Iamazo. That one's cleared, and as Soikani, he'll hold up, uses his strength, and Birkalla look to break, but Para Hills do well to regain possession. Siani goes to his captain in merit. He loses possession to Welsh, and here's an opportunity for Birkalla, and Tyrese Conway is going to be one-on-one with Chikani, and a flag is raised once again as the ball is put in the net. I thought that one was real close, and I believe very shortly we're going to see some more movement on the bench for West Torrens Birkalla.
Looks like a triple.
So they're going to round out their night. Subs. It's going to be Zaki Abdullahi. Jonathan Dorigo. And Amir Ibrahim.
And it looks like Welsh, Blackwood and Matsumoto all making way, so a few of those veteran players calling it a night after an hour.
We did discuss earlier if they were going to rest the likes of some of their superstars, but as we did say, they did have a week off last week. So was there really any need? But at 7-0, there's no real need for any risk.
Yeah, I think with the week off last week, you still want to see him play at least 60 minutes. But, yeah, certainly that play. It's also about rewarding some of the effort of the players that usually come off the bench as well. And, you know, we've seen the talent that both Abdullahi and from Ibrahim as well, like they're two really talented players. So it's great to see those two get a run. And Dorigo recently coming back to the club. So
here's Soikani looking to slot through Conway. He has looked quite dangerous in the second half. Apologies for cutting you off there, Simon.
All good. He's such an electric player, Sarkani, and in that instance he maybe just looked a little bit slower. So, you know, of course, coming off a bit of a layoff, he sort of has to find his pace, I guess.
So George Blackwood's Golden Boot run will end tonight. Well, I wouldn't say it's going to end, but
maybe he's just kicked up a notch.
Absolutely. Certainly have fresh legs, and going into Adelaide City next week at Adelaide City Park. He does have a 7-goal lead in the RAA NPLSA Golden Boot race. And Para Hills look to the bench for the first time tonight, and it's going to be Jordan Watson to come on. Made his debut last week for his NPL debut last week. Coming across, there's one of the players that's come across from Port Adelaide. And looks as he'll be replacing Kyle Marley McFall. So he'll join...
oh no, that's all right.
He'll join partnership, that centre-back partnership with Damon Peake.
I was about to incorrectly say that it might have been Peake coming off, but I've read the number wrong. They've got a little bit of a resemblance, those two players.
Certainly. Centre-backs, blonde hair. Both 21, 20. I think Peake might be 22, actually. As we discussed earlier, it's quite hard to get the exact age of a lot of the players on that dribble platform. And here's Siani, who unwinds a shot, and a very good save there from Nick Harpers, this time to his right-hand side.
Looks like he had it well covered in the end. A little bit of a shake of the arm there, because he did have to dive, and we know it's not the most comfortable place here at Jack Smith Park to have to go to ground. Especially if you're a veteran 300 gamer.
32-year-old he is as the ball comes in. Not dealt with by Birkalla as comfortably as they would have liked, and that one's comfortably held by Harper, sending. He looks done. Leash Abdullahi in the fresh legs. He's also got Soikani, but very well done there by Blomley. Unfortunately for him, he hasn't made as much of an impact in the game as he may have liked. Watched him a couple of times this season. He's definitely been one of his... Here he is off the ball. Not too happy with Classen Thomas there. So we'll ignore that incident and focus on the play. He watched him in a few occasions. He's looks very comfortable on that ball in that defensive midfield position. Pace just turned up a little bit of a notch here. The goals have died down for Para Hills, but for West Torrens Birkalla, sorry, but fresh legs certainly changing the game a little bit.
Well, Abdullahi's absolutely rapid, but interestingly, he's just brought down the average height of the West Torrens Birkalla team, with him coming on and the likes of Blackwood and Welsh coming off.
There was some real height there. Saw how deadly that was on a few instances tonight.
Or maybe Matsumoto coming off sort of evens things out, but we haven't made them stand back to back yet tonight.
It'd be great to see. And here is Abdullahi on the ball as he zooms through, and instantly Wordsworth points to the spot, and it's a penalty for Birkalla. And Alessandro Ciccone lives for these moments, doesn't he, Simon?
Yeah, well, he had one pen save last week that he pulled off. He's had a tough night tonight. It's really been a tough one, but there'll be something to add to the highlight reel if he can save this pen.
It's going to be, in fact, who's going to take it? It's going to be the tallest man currently on the pitch in Dylan Klassen-Thomas. Again, you don't say it very often, the shortest man on the pitch, the goalkeeper Ciccone. Ciccone pulling off that save to his right the other day, off Dom Costanzo. That's all the relevant right now as Klassen-Thomas goes eye to eye with Ciccone. He steps up. This time sends him the other way. Beautifully placed into that bottom corner. And that's a hat-trick for Dylan Klassen-Thomas tonight. The West Torrens Birkalla have 8 now. 67 minutes gone on the One World LED and Sportive scoreboard. And that certainly boosts his confidence, doesn't it, Simon?
Yeah, it does. You mentioned that he's, despite his attacking prowess, he actually hasn't found the back of the net on a lot of occasions. So he's got a few to add to the tally tonight, which will be big for the confidence of the youngster. The 2025 Rising Star.
There you go. He's certainly showing why he won that last year. And Colour forward here this through Abdullahi again. He's able to mow down Peak. Bit of space there on that right side, but going to be prevented as the ball is across the line, out for a throw-in. Well, some worrying signs for Para Hills as this is the 10th game this season that they've conceded 5 or more goals in the RAA NPLSA. And in fact, this could be another stat for you. We are now even on, as Birkalla make it 9. We're now even for the highest total, highest resulted game in the RAA NPLSA this year. It's 9-0 now.
Just had another message as well. Apparently it's the biggest loss of all time in First Division for Para Hills Knights.
Now it is. It's not the equal, it's the biggest now.
The biggest.
Please thank our good friend in Seb O'Neill for that information. Give him a bit of shout out, he deserves it.
He's working overtime, Seb, as he usually does.
As Watson looks to target Adejo. Collected quite comfortably by Harpers, but it's also the 3rd time Para Hills have conceded 7 or more this season, Simon. This time here's an opportunity for Adejo to score as the shot trickles in just wide of Harpers' post. He's had a few opportunities in the second half as Sammy Adejo. Ball's in as Watson wins the ball, and here's that man again, Sammy Adejo. It's Iamazo who was unable to bring it down. As Ibrahim and Adejo go toe to toe. Out for a goal kick. Got some action tomorrow in the RAA NPLSA, which you can catch right here live on the FSA League's YouTube channel. Simon will bring us them matches very shortly. After this Birkalla attack as Abdullahi puts it across the box. It's dealt with. Oh, and Para Hills enjoy a little bit of possession here. Play back for Ciccone. He's Does well to find Watson.
Yeah, those games tomorrow, they're going to really sort of potentially impact the shape of the top six with... I'll come back to that.
I'll interrupt you quickly, but here's Klassen Thomas on his right foot. Left foot, sorry. Just narrow of that top corner. You see how deadly he is on both feet? Simon discussed earlier, he's taken the corners with his left and right foot. Took that penalty with his right.
And that one curled in beautifully late. I think maybe from our perspective and your perspective at home, maybe the ground it was probably not quite as close as it initially seemed, because obviously it curved a little bit after, but still a very nice delivery. It's just typical of so many of these young players that don't seem to have a weak foot as well.
Certainly it's a very underrated skill to have.
Just going back to those games tomorrow, so a couple of ones that are really pivotal with the shape of the top six. So Adelaide City playing Croydon FC. They got the earlier kick-off at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'll be on that one, so join us on FSA Leagues if you're not heading down to Adelaide City Park. Playford City has Metro Stars.
We'll interrupt you again here, Simon. Here's that man this time. That one didn't look as nice as he blazes that one over the top.
While they retrieve the ball, I'm going to have a couple of seconds to finally go through the rest of these fixtures and tell you that Seb O'Neill, the great Seb O'Neill, will be on that one at Playford, kicking off 3 o'clock at Ramsay Park between Playford and Metro Stars, and West Adelaide and Sturt Lions. I believe we're going to have Adrian Pickles and Theo Milonis on that one as well. So 3 games tomorrow afternoon, and all capped off Sunday evening at FK Beergrad against Adelaide City, a later fixture, given that FK Beergrad had that midweek fixture against Sunshine North Eagles.
The ball's in here, and here's Abdullah looking to get onto it, able to bring it down. Sykes raised once again for offside. He's unable to have an opportunity to grab his first for the night.
And just want to sneak in another fixture mention for you. Of course, the midweek one between Cumberland United and Heidelberg. So that's going to be huge. One of the standout teams from Victoria coming down and going to be facing, I guess, a team that haven't been overall in the scheme of things in State League 1. They've been struggling a little bit, but they've certainly found a little bit of confidence after that win against Fulham United last night. And of course, although they didn't get the win, a very incredible performance with only 9 men by the time full-time was eventually blown against FK Beergrad to go down in the Federation Cup final.
They'll certainly have their heads up going into that game. Did forget to mention that Heidelberg United Australia Cup finalists last year as well. They did go down to Newcastle United in that one, but Cumberland they've peaked at the right time, it may have seen, and they'll go into that game as underdogs, but nothing like a good underdog story in football.
Shows a lot of promise as well. There's a lot of really quality young players in there as well. So, yeah, I think they were great to watch. They really gave a great account of themselves that Federation Cup final night last week. Very impressed.
Here's Siani, might have a bit of space, looks to curl it in. Harper's a bit blindsided. There, he does well to punch, but not dealt with there. There's Watson, holds it up. It's going to fall to Ian Marzo, who gets his shot off. And unable to make any contact there was Conti. Could have found the first for Para Hills.
Maybe Conti was just a little bit blind to that delivery coming in. We saw Harper sort of had to react last minute and punch that ball that came in away because he had a player in the way, wasn't able to get a direct line of sight of it. So, but Conti was pretty close. He wasn't too far away in that instance. Maybe the first chance we've seen really for Para Hills in this second half.
And here's a chance for... No, it's not going to be a chance. Offside again. They've just struggled to hold that line, haven't they? A bit eager. Other Birkalla attackers. Not that you can blame them. There's Klassen Thomas, who would have loved to grab his fourth.
Well, even though they've been called offside on numerous occasions, they've still decided to bury the ball in the back of the net as well, just to, I guess, hammer the point home. But at the moment, their biggest woe going forward seems to be that flag, doesn't it?
Certainly. Here's Conway and decide a foul in a dangerous area. I do believe do have a rough idea where this ball into the box may be heading, Simon.
It's going to be Sarkani that takes it. One of the taller players left on, but Claston Thomas is still floating around, and he seems to be front and centre there, ready to run in. Clark's not far away too. Wow.
Won't comment on that. A few laughs in the crowd and the bench there, but may have tried to catch Ciccone off guard there. Did Sarkani.
Well, he said maybe he was trying to find his rhythm a little bit earlier when he just looked a little bit slow off the mark, but I think that ball not his finest hour.
Certainly not.
Tyrese Conway's just enjoying that. He seems to be still cackling at it. I mean, I'm not laughing because I'd probably do the same thing. But the players can they can have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah, it's one of the moments. Just maybe in another game he may have copped a bit of a roasting from Stavkalekis. Here's Ibrahim to take the throw in. Fresh substitutes haven't been able to find the score sheet for Birkalla as of yet. Abdullahi did win that penalty on the far side, which was converted by Claston Thomas, which was the most recent goal. They look to play out in a bit of possession. Clark comes forward. Nice little flick on from Sarkani. Doesn't find his target though, and here's Merritt, tries forward with a bit of intent, and he actually joins the attack. It's a Dejo. Mr. Merritt, and Merritt's unable to retrieve possession. As Ibrahim goes wide to Anti-Janto. And Claston Thomas plenty of space. There's Conway. Maraghu is fouled. Get play on quickly, and we're going to see the first booking of the night. It's gone the way of Thomas Iamazo. Another more silly cautioning. This ball was played quickly, was unable to get out the way. Game does come to a bit of a lull as the clock does tick down towards the 90. 79 minutes gone on a one-world LED and Sportive scoreboard. Abdullahi does very well to win possession. Gets a shot off, and he has his goal. Zaki Abdullahi makes it 10-0.
Double digits, that goal difference that favoured Adelaide City when they were both tied up before the kick-off of this round. Birkalla have... Well, I mean, they haven't made a dent in that. They've completely erased that and even put their nose straight in front. So, very interesting.
Now it's Adelaide City. You have to play catch-up tomorrow at Croydon.
Well, we have seen a couple of high-scoring affairs against Croydon, including that 10-goal thriller at West Adelaide Kilburn Sportsplex a few weeks ago. But even though you saw 10 goals in that game, the goal difference still ended up being nil because although West Adelaide scored 3 goals in the first 12 minutes in that game and went into the rooms at halftime 4-0, Croydon somehow managed to have that all level by the final whistle. So I'm sure, given that Croydon are up in that top 6 at the moment and just they're really playing to cement their spot up the top and also to bring some good form into the finals to try back up that.
Ball slotted in through. Ibrahim was unable to get there first. It was Adejo on defensive efforts this time.
Yeah, just to finish that thought, Croydon are really trying to
come into the final series with that good form. Of course, they eliminated Adelaide City at the end of last year in the semi-finals to secure their spot against Metro Stars in the Grand. Of course, they eventually became Grand Final winners, so they'll be hoping to back that up with a positive run at finals time. So going back to the original point, I think it's going to be a nice close one at Adelaide City Park tomorrow.
Certainly one we will look forward to as Classon Thomas whips it in. Ball falls at the top of the box and it's a shot off. Oh. That's going to be 11.
Dorigo
makes his impact, and it's probably one the young goalkeeper Tricone may not want to look back at. Has been one of them days for the youngster. Hasn't exactly played bad, but just had so much to do with.
It's just tricky at this point. What do you do? There's so much damage already done, and you know you're almost standing out there giving shot practice for West Torrens Birkalla at times. So it's a challenging situation for the 18-year-old. But you know, I think this game isn't really a reflection on his own ability. So I hope that he doesn't take much of a dent in confidence with this. Again, you said at the start he was playing 18s at the start of the year. We saw Lachlan Fusco, the main keeper, suffer a pretty serious injury, so he's not going to be involved with the rest of the season. Caleb Robinson as well, the backup keeper. So
I did have a chat with the Para Hill staff earlier on today, though. Thankfully, the Lockie Fusco knee injury wasn't what we all did expect in ACL or MCL. Not exactly sure what it was, but it's not that devastating 12-month recovery that he's going to have to go through, thankfully.
That's good news. That's really positive news. They did bring another keeper in as well, Para Hills. They brought in, is it Thomas Di Maria?
Thomas Di Maria from Mount Barker, I believe. And here comes Classon Thomas. He does well to find Soikani. Soikani puts it across, and that's a good save from Tricone. That was off the boot of his own defender.
A little bit of frustration shown from Sakani after that as well. I think he's maybe just not feeling his usual confident, dangerous self today. But again, he's missed out on a few games in the lead up to this. This is the first time he's come back, so just needs that time to settle in. I'd love to have hit the ground running tonight, but we haven't really seen that as of yet.
Still probably got 8 or 9 minutes to do so. As Birkalla come forward and attack again, and here is that man in Soikani, unable to find his target there. Just hasn't found his straps, but they'll ease him back into it, and come the real pointy end of the season, hopefully he's able to be in picture perfect form. Can they grab something as ball comes across to Carpus, and he collects quite comfortably again. Hasn't had a real lot to do, but he's had a couple good saves in this second half. In game 300 as Nick Harpus. Well, goes wide to Abdullahi. He's dealt with well by Damon Peake. He's going to be pressed by Classon Thomas. Was Blomley, and the frustration of the call there. Birkalla obviously still hungry to grab another.
Yeah, and maybe just a little bit overzealous there. Classon Thomas, as Curtis Wadsworth blows his whistle. Yeah, as you said, the crowd didn't quite agree with that.
Even when you're 11-0 up, the referees will never... They're always going to have to deal with someone complaining, aren't they? Exactly what it's like. Here comes Para Hills on this near side. The ball unable to go over the head of Ibrahim. Watson was the intended target. As Clark plays it back to Dorigo. Sense long. Merritt wins a header, but he's going to go in a foot race with Abdullahi, the fresh legs, and we've seen what he's able to create coming on as Merritt goes to the ground, and Tricone does well there. Actually, it's a goal kick.
It's interesting there because Merritt went to ground and it looks like there was, well, at one point, Abdullah, he had beat him, got in front of him, so I imagine there was probably a little bit of back and forth between the two players there. Again, the referee had a bit of a better view of that than we did, but from where standing, it did seem there was a little bit of contact either way.
It's 4-0 at half time. It only took 18 seconds for Birkalla to make it 5. And then I believe a minute later, Simon, it was 6.
Going back to that conversation we did have at half-time, sort of when we were talking about what are Birkalla going to do when they come out, we weren't sure if they were going to really press and try to put up a big tally or be patient. We've actually seen both. They've been relatively patient, but in doing that, just put up a big tally. And again, to compare it to last week, where Adelaide City sort of made a bit more of a scrap than they need to be. Birkalla just being really comfortable in possession, demonstrating their class, and those opportunities have presented themselves, and the way they're going, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that tally grow further tonight. It seems Burke still want to score more.
Certainly they'll be hungry, but it's just that experience they've shown and the quality, not only in the final third. You can say they've been exceptional there. Probably had the ball in the net 14 times actually, 3 being disallowed for offside in this second half, and here's Soikani looking to create something, unable to. But like we discussed earlier, that star-studded lineup and the experience of West Orange and Birkalla, it really is more a sense of men against boys.
Adam LeCornu having a little bit of involvement there. Of course, he came on, I think it was the first change, wasn't it? About 52 minutes or so for West Torrens Birkalla. Another player returning from a bit of an extended absence. It's
a good ball from Sakani. Not Sakani, sorry. Siani.
Soy Sakani. So you sort of both, you were sort of right at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I did bring up, I think it was off there actually, the quality of Burke's starting players is really, really obvious. But, with both Clark and Vidmar starting for most of the games this year, I was thinking about, at back, do they have the depth that they need?
Here as a shot comes in from Abdullahi, that one's straight into the hands of Chikone.
Yeah, I was just wondering about the depth that they had at back. So for LeCornu to come back at this time of the year, that's a huge in, and for him to get some valuable minutes today, that's really big as well. I mean, the likes of Abdullahi, he usually makes an appearance late, so any extra minutes that he can potentially get, I guess it's just another opportunity for him to show his quality.
He's definitely played that super sub role well. He's made his mark as the shot comes in. Real threat to Harper's there. He's made his mark this year.
Yeah, that pace late in the game is just that's really, really hard to contend with, and we've still got 2 notable. So yeah, I think I do wonder if defensively, maybe West Torrens Birkalla don't have the numbers that they do have elsewhere, but in midfield they're absolutely stacked. We've got Ryan Yates, saw him before the game, so he's not in the lineup at all tonight, so he's still waiting in the wings. Sarkani, of course, coming back, although he seems to not be quite on it tonight. He'll come good again. Dorigo coming in, Ayubi coming back in as well, and who have I left out? I've left out someone.
Well,
Christophilos.
I know.
So he's not in the starting lineup today.
Lovely moment there for Chikone. There's Birkalla have a corner. Abdullahi gets it started quickly, so they still are in a rush to grab the ball as Para Hills break forward. Harper's actually off his line by a long way. The ball was out wide for Sammy Adejo. Once again, you cut you off, Simon, as you were going through the absences of the West Torrens Birkalla midfield.
Yeah, but even with those names out, they've just had plenty of personnel to cover those tonight. So, yeah, just to get those players to come on and have a good run, it's valuable for them. And, of course, that goal difference when they're all tied up on points, well, they were at the start of this round against Adelaide City. It's very handy to have in the top pocket as well if needed at season's end.
Here come Birkalla forward as we are now in stoppage time, actually. Are they able to grab one more and make it 12? A vision blocked there by Birkalla bench. There's Watson on the ball. And Curtis Woodsworth has seen enough. And that is full time here at Jack Smith Park. It's West Torrens Birkalla 11, Para Hills Knights 0. Very grim night for the away side. But we questioned very early on tonight if Birkalla would attack that goal difference on Adelaide City, and they've gone above and beyond, Simon.
They have. So, again, as well as that goal difference, they also have given some valuable minutes to some of those players off the bench, including the returning ones in Lacornu and Sarkani. So, I guess in terms of West Torrens Birkalla, it goes exactly to plan. For Para Hills, well, didn't particularly go to plan, but I think probably what a lot of people would have expected. Of course, their fate already decided, but their long and arduous stretch towards the end of the season seems to not get any easier.
Well, they did enjoy a very big win tonight, did Birkalla. It only equals their fourth highest ever win.
Right.
Go back to 1949 here at Jack Smith Park against South Adelaide. They won 15-1, Simon.
Where'd you get that one from?
Seb.
Thank you, Seb O'Neill.
Seb O'Neill again.
The greatest statistician alive.
Coming in clutch for us. Yes, that will close off action here at Jack Smith Park. But as we discussed, still games to come in the RA NPLSA tomorrow. It is Adelaide City playing host to Croydon FC, which will be covered by Simon. Playford playing host to no longer ladder leaders anymore, and Metro Stars, and West Adelaide and Sturt Lions at 3 o'clock. The round will be topped off down at Frank Mitchell Park, where FK Birkalla will take on Adelaide United's youth team. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm Anton Violi and Simon Jimenez. We'll head out and we'll catch you soon. Thank you. Cheers.
See you later.